Hi everybody, Jake here. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hope everyone's having a very good end of their week here. Looking forward to some good football this weekend. I know Saturday we have a crazy college football slate, and then Sunday you got some awesome games for the NFL too. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend. A game I'm looking forward to most is probably why you guys clicked on the video is Browns Lions in Detroit. It should be an awesome game. The Browns are currently coming into this one as 8.5 point dogs, which we are not strangers to at this point. The Browns just knocked off the Green Bay Packers, and I think they were like 9.5 point dogs in that game. So the Browns are not strangers to this situation, but this game I will say is going to be much tougher than the Green Bay game. You're not at home, you're in a hostile environment, you're playing an offense that is capable of running away with it. So today what I wanted to give you guys was my keys to victory for the Browns. A couple things that the Browns need to do in this game to win it. So let's jump into this video. The first thing that the Browns have to do, and you will see that this is a trend in a lot of my keys to victory videos, but this is just a formula to succeed in the NFL, and that is to establish a sense of a run game. The Browns they didn't do a great job at this throughout the game last week, but they did in the fourth quarter. You were able to see Quinshon Judkins get loose in the fourth quarter and essentially win the game for the Browns. I mean, he was the only touchdown the Browns scored. I think he had just under 100 yards rushing in that game. He is their bell cow going forward. He had 18 attempts last week. I would assume if the Browns come in and they try to get him going again in the 15 to 20 carry range, if they can do that and Judkins can go for something similar, it'll be a tough defense to run the ball on. But if the Browns can run the ball effectively and get Judkins between 85 and 100 yards or so, I think that puts the Browns in a very good position to succeed, because not only are you running the ball effectively, you're also keeping the Lions off the field and controlling time of possession. That's all going to be important. That all rolls together. That's a good formula to win in football. The Lions have way too good of an offense to give them more possessions than you. I mean, they put up 52 on the Bears, and then they put up 30 on the Ravens. So you need to neutralize them as much as you can. Not only that, if you're running the ball effectively, you're going to take the home crowd out of it. These are professional players. The crowd is not going to be the end all be all, but to control them, it'll be ideal for the Browns. So that's the first thing they got to do, is establish some sense of a run game. The second thing they have to do is neutralize the Detroit Lions run game. We saw them against was it the Ravens? I'm going to get you guys the stats here. Yeah, that was the game. David Montgomery went for 151 yards, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 22 carries for 67 yards. They each had 2 touchdowns apiece. You can't let that happen. You cannot let that happen to you. The Browns need to neutralize this Detroit Lions rushing attack, and I will tell you why in my third key to victory as to why that's so important for the Browns. But if you're getting the ball ran all over you, it's the same thing of what I just said. They're controlling time of possession now. If they're finishing these drives with touchdowns too, you're buried. You're buried and you don't have a lot of time to come back. We haven't seen the Browns be able to come back in games. They did against the Packers, I'll give them that, but it wasn't their offense that was the reason that they came back and won that game. If the Browns find themselves down in this game and the Lions are running the ball effectively, it's just not a recipe for success for the Browns. Thankfully, the Browns have the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL, so I think the Browns very much have the capabilities to slow down this run game for the Detroit Lions. Not only if you slow down the rushing attack for the Lions, that forces the Lions to throw the ball more. Jared Goff, in the game that they lost, let me pull it up for you because I want to make sure I got this correct. The game they lost was against the Packers. The Lions put up 13 points in that game. Oh, don't tell me this is going to give me a hard time now. There it is. Yeah, Jared Goff threw the ball 39 times in that game, and he had an interception in that one. The Packers were able to neutralize the rushing attack from the Lions in that game. David Montgomery was held for 11 carries, 25 yards, and Jahmyr Gibbs 9 carries for 19 yards. That's not near good enough, and they made Jared Goff make some mistakes. I don't think the recipe for the Lions to win games in the NFL is Jared Goff throwing the ball 40 times. You can see in the next 2 games they played against Chicago and Baltimore, he threw the ball 28 times in both of those games. That's ideally where I want Joe Flacco to be. But you can see what the Lions' recipe is here. They get the ball to their playmakers in the backfield and let them do their thing, and that opens it up for guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo. to beat you later in the game. So neutralizing this Detroit rushing attack is going to be vital to the Browns to win this game. And my third key to victory, I kind of spoiled it because I literally just said it, is to get Jared Goff's attempts above 30, 35, 40 attempts, because that tells me that the Browns got in front in this game, and now the Lions are forced to throw the ball downfield, and that's when you have guys like Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome down there. Grant Delpit, shout out Grant Delpit. We saw him last week get an interception on Jared Love. That kind of works into what the Browns want to do, because the Browns pass rush in conjunction with their secondary is a huge strength for this team. So if the Browns can get in front and they can make Jared Goff throw the ball often, I think it sets up for turnovers to happen, favorable field position, and then it goes along with everything else. The Browns can get a run game going. They can control time of possession. All these things kind of work in succession with one another. So those are my three keys to victory that I think the Browns need to carry into this game, and it needs to be vital to the Browns for these three key things. Not only would it be amazing to beat the Packers and beat the Lions, dude, could you imagine if the Browns beat the Lions in Detroit with everything that's going on with the Guardians right now? I don't know if you guys are up to, if you're watching this video and you're not in the baseball realm, the Tigers just blew a 15.5 point, or 15, God, I'm all over the place. I'm a mess. A 15.5 game lead in the AL Central, and now the Guardians are a game up on them in the division, which is just like historic. But if the Browns walk into Detroit and they beat the Lions at home, Cleveland's running Detroit right now. Hey, we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit, right? But yeah, those are my thoughts on this one. I think it's actually a winnable game for the Browns if they do these things. They're only 8.5 point dogs, but the Browns got to get some of this scoring down. They gotta keep the Lions low scoring in this one. But if they follow through with these three things that I talked about in this video, I think the Browns will have a lot of success in this one. If you guys haven't had an opportunity, go ahead and check in the description. My X account is in there. You guys go ahead and check it out. I love interacting with you guys over there. It's the easiest place for me to talk with you guys too, because just during the game I can kind of chat with you guys rather than in these videos. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this one. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Go Brownies, baby.